Hello, friends. Good afternoon. It is currently Monday, June 2nd, and not too long ago, our Wi Fi just decided to give up. It gave out. It seems to be an area specific, area wide problem. And so I started reading Circe by Madeline Miller. So, this is one of the books on my June TBR. If you would like to see how I picked that, please click on whatever link is popping up right now. But yeah, I started reading this a while ago. And by a while ago, I mean sometime last year. And I really didn't enjoy it. And I decided to put it down and pick something else up in its place. And I am really glad I did because a friend of mine read this for one of her book clubs not too long ago and she actually didn't like it. And so I came into this expecting not to like it. I am exactly one chapter in. I've met Circe, I've met her parents, and I'm actually enjoying it so much more the second time round. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a case of right book, right time, but I am digging it so far. I'm really enjoying Miller's characterization of the characters. I am really enjoying the setting. I am interested to see what Circe does because we have this like complete shift in character. She's telling us like the backstory of her childhood, and she's using a very reflective tone, which suggests that everything is about to change, which is super exciting. I think I'm also fortunate in that I wasn't a huge Greek myths kid, and so I don't actually know what happens in Circe's story, so I am going to be surprised and I am along for the ride. So that's first opinions on this bad boy. But I thought we would sit down and have a chat, just like a more general chat. So, just a note on the personal life side of things. My personal life has been kind of a mess, and I think that you can tell when my personal life is a mess by the upload schedule. So I've missed 2 weeks in a row. And I've been trying not to do that, but in all honesty, everything has been falling apart. So, long story short, I got retrenched. And that is obviously a super scary thing. It's a scary thing to go through because, you know, what are your next steps? And I've been applying for jobs, and the thing with the job hunting process is that it is exactly that it is a process. And so nothing's been immediate, which is fine. That's fine. But I have been wondering if I should take this opportunity to do something I enjoy more. The corporate environment has been very unstable for me personally because about a year ago I also got retrenched. And so taking a gamble on my passion doesn't feel as gambly, if that makes sense. Because I did the corporate thing, which is supposed to be solid and stable, and it's shown me instability twice in less than a year. And so I'm starting to feel like maybe corporate is just not for me. Maybe I am not really cut out for a corporate role, and that's okay. Maybe I need to accept that. And maybe this little itch to do the art things is more than just an itch, and maybe I should just dive into it headfirst and see where it goes. Having said all that, I do have an interview on Tuesday, but an interview is just an interview. It's not necessarily a job. And so I'll go and I'll see what comes of that. But yeah, life is really scary right now, and I'm really uncertain, and I just wanted to be open and honest about that. I thought I could lie, but let's not do that here. Let's not lie here, because this is supposed to be a safe space. You know, I would like to make a safe space. I'd like to make a nice space. So far, everyone's been lovely. So I hope that this time is no different. If there is something that you would like to talk about in the comments, if you're going through a hard time, just know that you are not alone. And it's hard. It's hard and challenging and daunting. But we move. As my generation likes to say, we move. There we go. I got really in my feelings. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, truth be told, so I'm going to get back to reading. But if you sat through that, and if you were a kind listening ear, I would like to take this time to personally thank you. Babbling, gonna go. That's been an update. We have made progress with Circe, and I am super happy to report that I am still really enjoying this book. I am not very far in. I think I'm on chapter 6. It's under 100 pages, but I'm having a really good time, and I am so relieved because I have had a bit of a hit and miss, mostly miss relationship with like really popular book talk books, and I know I'm like a million years late to the party, but it's a Greek myth. They don't expire. It's allowed. So I was really thinking that this one was going to be much of the same, much of a muchness. But I am surprised to find that I can't wait for Circe to turn into a badass, if you know what I mean. Like, if you've read this, I think you know what I mean, but just in case you haven't, Circe is just constantly being done dirty by everyone around her all the time. Like, she is just constantly going through the most, and it's a lot. And so there are these like little threads of she has this independent side. Like she doesn't mind being alone, for instance. And people are always talking about her, and it doesn't seem to get to her too much. She's kind of ambivalent about it. But there's this like defiant thread that is starting to come through, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I think the tension in this book is really well done. I think it's excellent. I have a little example here of where like it's not a big thing, but it's a big thing, and I just think it works. But that's really really vague. So let me find the page, and then I will explain in more detail. So there's this part in the book. It is on page 23, so I don't consider it a spoiler. I also have just realized that my son's perch over there is in the shot, but we're in too deep now, so I apologize if that bugs you. But that's where my son lives, so it shall remain. His name is Juro. He is a Senegalese parrot, and he is part bird and full time menace, and I love him. Anyway, so there is this part on page 23 where essentially he's being punished, and sooner or later the gods kind of tire of his pain and just they become really disinterested and leave. And Circe is the last person to remain, and so she offers him some kindness, and he's really really grateful for it. But it is a little bit like it's what I was saying. It's like this hint of defiance because you're not supposed to sympathize with this man, and she does. Eventually he tells her, you know what, it's time to go. I don't want to get you in trouble. She says, I will go then. I said, you will be well enough, he said. What is your name? Circe. After that interaction, it says, I was trembling with all I had done, which is more than I had ever done in my life. I turned and left him. Like the tension between those two sentences is insane. Like I love that. So I'm eating up like little moments like that, which is really really fun. But yeah, that's pretty much the update I have because I'm still not very far into it. So I think I am going to read some more sometime today. I hope, I beg. And then we will talk again once I have an update. All right, gang. I think I think we need an intervention because it is June 19th. It is so late, and I am once more in that situation where I am yet to finish a book. And it's driving me a little nuts because for me, reading is part hobby, part habit, and part coping mechanism. I feel like I read to wind down and to relax, and it's the thing that my brain likes to do, and it makes me feel good. And for the past I repeat 2 months, I haven't been able to finish anything. I've just been floundering in between books, picking up new things, trying to get that dopamine hit, and nothing is working. Because as much as I am not reading Circe, I also know that I am enjoying Circe. So I don't know why I can't get the brain to just sit down and focus and do the thing. I need to do one thing. I need to at least finish this book. And I tested for science. I tried to see if it was this specific book that was making me reading slump ish. And it's not, because I started a couple of other things and none of them have been successful. I tried reading Berta Isla. She was on my TBR. If you want to see how I picked my TBR, I will leave that video up top. And I just hated the way that women were represented and written in that book, which is sad because it's a book about a woman. And I decided that I am old enough not to have to deal with this shit. So I just stopped reading it. I put it down. And then I decided I was going to try an old favorite. I have authors that I gravitate to, like most readers, I'm sure. One of those authors for me is Ian McEwan. He wrote Atonement. Great book, great movie. And I got about 30 pages into that book, and then I never thought about it again. And then I picked up a fantasy, and that was going really well. Until I just stopped thinking about it. And now I have no desire to pick it up, which is so silly. Everything feels so silly because I know I'm objectively having a good time. I just can't get myself to read the things. So, what we're going to do is we're going to sit down. Initially I thought like an hour timer would be enough, but we're gonna go hard. We're gonna go for an hour and a half, and I am just going to sit down and I'm going to read my damn book because I enjoy reading, damn it. And we are just going to try and brute force our way out of this reading slump. And I think that's what needs to happen. We made an error. There is a mistake, and I think I chose all the wrong things this month. Let me tell you why. So the first book I picked up was off of my June TBR, and I think I said in my June TBR video that I'm not the biggest fan of TBRs, and so challenging myself to do a TBR was a mistake because I was also going through the most. And I was not enjoying most things. And so I think a challenge was maybe not the right thing for me at the time. Mistake number 2 is I was heavily annotating Circe because I was really enjoying it. And while I don't regret annotating Circe, I think it may not have been the move. I think I should have just read something easy, because as much as I was enjoying the experience of Circe, I was also not very often in a position where I had the capacity to pick it up. So it is the 30th of June. I have 100 pages left. We are going to finish this today. I don't know how I feel about this book because I was really enjoying it, as in 5-star enjoying it. And then we got to the point where I stopped caring. Something about the pacing, something about the flavors just wasn't the same. And I am not entirely sure if that's reality or if that's just because I was having a really hard time. So I think I'm going to pick up the Song of Achilles. Not immediately, but at some point, just so that I can see maybe I was the problem. Overall, still enjoying it, still having a good time, still want to finish it. And that is the update on the June, or on the Circe front. On the June TBR front, we're gonna bin it. We're going to throw it in the bin so hard because I made the TBR video and I enjoyed making the TBR video. It was a lot of fun, but actually reading the TBR books on the TBR video could not be me. I have no desire to pick up those books, and I think I am going to bin the TBR videos for the near future because it isn't working. I am in a reading slump. I'm in the biggest reading slump I've had in a very long time. And so I am just going to read what feels right, and that's allowed, and I make the rules, and so it's okay. In the meantime, because everything's been so slumpy and I haven't been enjoying anything and I've been really sad, I took this time to teach myself how to do new things. So we're going to do a very small show and tell. I am very proud, so everyone please give it up for my notebook. I made this notebook cover. This is just a regular notebook, and I've covered it with some fabric. I learned how to make a reversible cover. This one isn't reversible because I was still learning, and so the lining is the same as the outside. But in theory, it is reversible. And it's just been a joy. It's been a joy to make stuff with my hands, and I am so glad that I took the time to learn how to do something new during a time where I was feeling horrendous, because I have something to show for it. I may not have been here physically or mentally, but this is real, and I'm real proud of it. So I did that. Also, I finally got a bird book. So John's family is heavy into birding, and we got the Roberts Bird Bird Guide? The Bird Guide. This is the one that his family swears by. I will believe him because I have no authority on this matter. And John has been very painstakingly trying to teach me different birds in the garden, and I have been enjoying it so much. I got him a bird book for his birthday, and I drew him some of the birds that appear in our garden to match. It was very cute. They were all wearing party hats. He loved it. And so it felt like the stars aligned, and I got this awesome bird book. But overall, I'm just happy to be here. It's been a really hard month. So I don't know what was in the water today, but I feel so much better, and I'm so grateful that that is the case, because it's been abysmal. So I'm working on a new sewing project. I am going to get that started. I'm going to finish listening to the audiobook of Circe, and then I'm going to wrap up this video and we're going to post it, goddammit, because it's been a month. It's been a month since we started filming, and I would love to get it out. Okay, that's the game plan. That's what we're going to do. I'll see you soon. I don't have very much time, but I did just want to say I finished Circe, and it feels so good. I am so glad I finally finished this book, and I have a really weird relationship with this book, where I really enjoyed the beginning and I really enjoyed the end, and I enjoyed most of the middle, but there was just this period where I think I was burnt out and I was just not having anything, and I don't think I would have been happy with what was written, whatever it had been. So I would very much like to revisit this in the future. I also might pick up the Song of Achilles just so that I can get a different story with the same flavor. I enjoyed my time here. I really did, and I'm really glad that I swapped to the audiobook when I did, because the woman who narrated Circe did such an incredible job, and she characterized Circe exactly as I pictured her, which is so rare. And sometimes it's kind of hard to pick up an audiobook after you've been reading it physically, because people imagine the characters differently and then execute them in a way that doesn't resonate with your reading experience, but that was not the case here. I was so impressed. I think Madeline Miller did a really good job of telling such a long-winded tale. And I don't mean long-winded as in boring, I mean long-winded as in this book literally spans thousands of years. I think she did such a good job with that. I was so invested in the characters we were supposed to be invested in. There were some characters who flitted in and out, and I think that is one thing that I will say, is not being a very big Greek myth girly. I found some of the name dropping a little confusing at times, and also some of the pronunciation was tough. And so I do kind of wish I had just read this whole thing via audiobook. So if you are going to read Circe, I would recommend doing that. But overall, I had a really good time. I loved the ending. I really loved the ending, and I wasn't expecting to, because it was one of those concerns and considerations that I had with how do you end a story that's been going for thousands of years. And Madeline Miller did such a good job. It wrapped up nicely, neatly. I think it wrapped up at the perfect time, and I am really, really glad I got around to this. So that's me, that's Circe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.